Teachers, positive ancestors, overall energy here as it relates to my collective. We get in trouble already. We just started, okay? Someone bring in that AI bot to keep you in check here. What do we need to know about love this time? What do we need to know about love? Oh, damn. Okay, so, yeah, I feel this energy of a collective. Woo! I feel this energy of a collective that is moving on or detaching or releasing something from the past, or maybe you just recently have. And I feel this energy of, like, you knowing that you've been through the ringer, okay? The journey has been challenging. It has ebbed. It has flowed, okay? Maybe for a time you felt a sense of frustration or hopelessness around the situation, okay? But I also feel like this is a collective that has been healing, releasing, purifying, cleansing. And this is a collective that has not given up hope that you will be able to have a deep love and a deep commitment. This is a collective that has not given up hope that your true soulmate, your long-term partner, is out there. And maybe for a time, for a moment, your faith was tested, but that was just a single moment in time. You did not give in to that pessimism, that apathy. This is a collective that has healed a part of themselves that, was once eternally optimistic and has found a middle ground. So we are opening back up. Thank you, Latanya. We are opening back up after this period of feeling like there was a situation within our life, within love, that was hopeless, that was difficult. There was a situation in which maybe we felt we had to suppress what we actually wanted with someone or something. Or maybe you feel like you had a difficult time healing because you were resisting the healing process because there was a part of you that still wanted this person. But guess what? Nevertheless, we persist. Nevertheless, we endure. Okay? And as we move through this period here of releasing and healing and cleansing, we recognize how adaptable we are. We recognize how resilient we are. We recognize how powerful we are. We recognize that the heart is in fact a muscle that can expand and contract, that can work out and can feel something really deeply, but then pull back when we need to be able to preserve ourselves or heal that muscle, any type of tear or wound that was created. But now we are starting to expand again. We are starting to expand again, and we are believing in love again for maybe the first time in a long time. But this is your natural state, because this is a collective that loves love, okay? You're ready to move forward towards your true partner, something that is a deep love that offers you a state of unity, a genuine connection, a soulmate that you feel is the best partner for you out there, okay? So this is a collective of resilient lovers. Tell me a little bit more about this collective. Some of you have been frustrated because you felt like you've been waiting for progress in love for a long time, whether it was with this person or otherwise. You've been really frustrated. And maybe it's because you gave all of your love to this one person, this one situation. Because for those of you in this collective, I don't feel like you're the kind of person that wants to casually date. I don't feel like you're the kind of person that's like, normally, well, if this doesn't work out, something else comes along. It's like, no, y'all are not only lovers, but y'all are like, this is like Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising energy, Scorpio Venus. You could have a Scorpio Venus, strong Scorpio placement. This is like blood pact. This is like when you love someone, you love someone. Like you are all in. It's hard for you to see beyond that person. Okay. And I feel like that's the way you were for a time with this energy. For a time you were like, yes, this is my everything. This is all that I need in my life. Maybe in some ways you even focused away from other things to focus on this. Even like other aspects of your life just became moot because all of a sudden this was your everything. And you just felt called to explore this, thinking about this all day, all night, really trying to understand and even explore this connection and how it was helping you heal or evolve within your life. So that was a focus for some time. Okay. I feel this energy of like, we had horse blinders on. We were like, dude, this is all I see. This is my everything. This is all I see. It's like every sense or connection to anything else was in some ways dulled. But I also feel beyond this, we are now recognizing that we have healed a part of ourselves that needed more than anything for this to work in order to feel good about ourselves, in order to feel worthy, in order to feel loved, in order to feel chosen. Okay. So I feel this energy of like allowing yourself to go with the flow or allowing yourself to accept that if something's resisting, we need to not resist as well. Okay. And moving into this flow state is allowing this collective to finally see fast progress. You've been feeling stuck for a long time as it relates to love. You've been feeling like you have been put in this purgatory, this holding cell of life, of love. And now I'm getting this energy of the wait finally being over. Okay. Fast action, fast movement, and feeling as well like some of you are even moving beyond this period of healing. So some of you felt it wasn't even just the relationship with this person or connection with this person, which by the way, they could have been I heard earth sign. I also have a Leo. You could have Leo energy in your chart. You could have earth in your chart. Specifically feel strong Leo here and earth for sure. Okay. Fire and earth. I'm also getting the initial M as significant. Okay. M is significant. And A. Okay. But I feel this energy of you focusing on this person for a long time and then focusing on healing for a long time. Because you felt like you had no other choice but to focus on your healing just because this person, was not making a decision. They were not making a decision. And you could not simply wait one moment longer in a state of inaction. Because you knew you came here to do something important. You know within this lifetime you are meant to experience and you are meant to live and you are meant to connect and you are meant to give that love to those who will receive it and reciprocate it. You knew. So this person kept you waiting too long, and eventually you decided instead of continuously waiting, you were just going to focus on healing. So at least you were doing something productive. And when you started to heal, that's when you started to shift into this place in which your heart was open to what was meant for you. Okay. And I feel as well for many of you, you are healers. You are healers. You are meant to be in this life path to heal or to at least illuminate the path for others through your state of expansion of consciousness. But now, I digress. Now, we are now shifting into this place in which your healing work is informing a quick movement into a new cycle. Okay, the wait is over. You're finally experiencing this moving out of this heavier, introspective hibernation energy, which was your healing journey. And on the other side, I feel you coming out on the other side feeling like you're ready. You're ready for a solid partnership. You're ready for something that feels stable. You're ready for a foundation that feels strong. And you've detached from anything that doesn't serve you, this person or otherwise. And it feels good. It feels good. I feel this energy of you love yourself and you love spirit more than you love this person. And damn, that's a lot. Because those of you in this collective, you love deeply. Like every fiber of your being loves. But I feel instead of putting all of your love into this person, you've now put a lot of that love into yourself. You put a lot of that love into God, into spirit, into the universe, into Yahweh, okay, Muhammad, non-denominational deity of choice, Ganesh, all of the spiritual leaders and all of your guides, benevolent guides who support you. You are allowing them to receive the benefits of your love, and they are loving you back deeply, unequivocally, unconditionally. And in allowing yourself to invest that love in other areas, right? Self, and then in your guides, what takes place is you start to detach from anything that can't reciprocate your love. Okay? So, the song is 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. Some of you had a difficult time even thinking that you were ready to leave this, but I feel for many of you, you didn't make a specific decision to leave this person. For most of you, this just happened naturally. For most of you, this just was a natural process of recognizing that your love was not being served here, or you were not investing love in something that could reciprocate it. So it's not like you were like, okay, now is the time of leave. It's like eventually you felt you had no choice but to move forward. And that actually feels like a decision from a place of being healed. Okay? So how are we moving forward in this collective? You know what you deserve. You know what you want. You're not willing to settle. And like I said, you're very optimistic. I feel this is a collective that is much more optimistic, that is opening their heart to the future. You've had major realizations around the fact that you were clinging on to something and holding on to something that was only making you feel abandoned, making you feel rejected. And truthfully, I don't feel like it was this person's intention. I don't feel they had intended to make you feel this way. But their actions were making you feel that way. Their actions were causing you to feel abandoned or dismissed or like you weren't considered or chosen. So holding on to that, of course, is going to continue to make you feel that way in perpetuity. And now this is a collective that is saying, I deserve peace above all. And in order to be able to find peace, I have to release something that, in holding on to it makes me feel like I'm in a state of conflict. Primarily a state of conflict with yourself. See, we continue to evolve and transform. It is adaptive than maladaptive. For a time, you held on to this because there was still something to learn. Now, you have learned this lesson that protecting your peace is your priority above all. And I see you allowing yourself to release. Now, for some of you, it might not always be easy, right? For some of you, you may feel this person's energy every once in a while, but for the most part, I feel within this collective, this is a pain that you are now able to manage. It's like you can observe this, but also it doesn't take you under. That's the difference. And that's the truth in a collective that loves as hard as you do. It's never going to feel easy to lose someone that we once loved, no matter who they are. Romantic relationship, friendship. It's never going to feel easy to lose something that was important to you. I want you to know that that is a testament to the power of your heart. The fact that you love that hard is the fact that you gave yourself over so vulnerably to this energy or other energies. Again, that is a testament to your strength, to your willingness to lead, wear your heart on your sleeve. What a beautiful gift that you give to those around you, those who have the privilege of connecting with you. But also know that we can observe this pain and not allow ourselves again to be taken under or to be drowning in it. And I feel like in this collective, you're not drowning in this pain. You have clarity. You have truth. You are being honest with yourself. And you know that you might feel like you made mistakes in this relationship. This person felt like they made mistakes. We are calling this a wash. Okay? We are calling this a wash. That is the key here. Because the moment you call this a wash and say, I contributed, they contributed, I did wrong, they did wrong, I got hurt, they got hurt. The moment you allow yourself to see from that perspective of equivalency, of equanimity, of balance, is the moment you free yourself from a soul contract that requires you to continuously be victimized in order to find your power. Hear that again. You realize that this person was not penalizing you, was not punishing you. They were wounded, they were broken. You were wounded, you were broken. You freed yourself now. Okay? You're no longer allowing yourself to stay connected to something that makes you feel broken. Now we are moving forward. We've had these realizations as of late. You've reached a breaking point. And I feel for many of you, you didn't even communicate to this person. I also feel as well for many of you, you're not even waiting on this person to come forward to apologize. You're truly not. Why? Because you are sick of choosing to self-abandon and blame someone else for it. Damn, I'll say that again. You are now recognizing that you have the power to act differently, to move differently. But that also comes with responsibility. And that also frees this person from culpability and allows you to move forward in peace. They don't need to continue to hold on to you in the same way that they have, although they still will to some degree, because they're still learning these lessons. But I see within this collective, for many of you, you're not even getting readings about this person anymore. You're not getting readings about this person. You're not waiting on them to give you closure. And you're not clinging to this like you were in the past. It feels really powerful. And you are allowing yourself to refocus your hope, your faith towards a new path. Towards a new path. So you never lost that hope. See, you never truly lost that hope. It was always available to you. Maybe it was dormant. Maybe it was subconscious. Maybe it was waiting to be activated again. You never lost that hope. It still exists within you. Now you just get to refocus that hope into this new path. Now you get to reallocate that hope, that openness, that faith into what is to come. Okay? You just had to find yourself again. What are we moving forward towards within this collective? A love that feels true and real, not like a fantasy. Some of you were waiting on this person to save you. Some of you felt like if this person came in and chose you and against all odds, this relationship would be elevated to a state of success, that in some ways, yeah, you would feel like a part of you would feel lovable or worthy, right? But that was that fantasy. That was the same fantasy that you created as a child. That this person's just going to, with no prerequisite work or effort or even a willingness to change or desire to actually go through a therapeutic process, they're just going to magically change their perspective and come through on this white horse and change the way that they behave, change their psyche, change their behavior in order to choose you, in order to be able to reset the dynamic of the relationship to make you feel lovable. Again, for many of you, it's not so much delusional. I don't like the word delusional because I feel like sometimes that causes us to feel like we're doing something wrong. Okay, this idea of like, you were delusional. No, you were re-perpetuating a fantasy from childhood in the hopes that it would have a different outcome. You were reimagining that world from a historical time in the hopes that eventually the ending would be different. But I will tell you this time, the ending is different because you're choosing yourself. The ending is different because you're in a better headspace. The ending is different because you're happier than you've ever been. And maybe you're just realizing that now. Maybe some of you are just realizing that now. Some of you are going to be surprised at how much you've changed. How much of a difference it makes by drawing boundaries in your life. By how much of a difference it makes to protect your energy and your depth and the resources that you have for those who can reciprocate that depth. I feel that energy in this collective. Divine feminine energy is so precious. So valuable. Divine feminine energy is such a gift. And I feel many of you are just recognizing the value of your femininity. I'm going to read y'all a little bit, okay? Some of you were giving away that feminine energy at too low of a rate, okay? Some of you were allowing people to access that beautiful bounty, that beautiful abundant feminine energy without requiring them to earn it, to compensate you for it, okay? To replenish that energy that they are benefiting from, okay? Some of these energies, you had to be in this hard energy when you weren't connected to them in order for them to be able to receive your softness. They would get to receive your softness, your femininity, your beauty, your physical body, your compassion, your intuition, all of these beautiful gifts you offer. They would receive all these things from you. But the moment they would disconnect from you, all of a sudden you'd have to be in that harder masculine energy to protect yourself. Because they weren't around to support you. They weren't supporting you, your lifestyle. They weren't making sure that you were taken care of. It feels like, again, you gave this person the value of that feminine energy. But they didn't earn it. And now you're realizing that you have so much depth. You're so important. You have so much value to offer. And these boundaries protect you from offering it to the wrong individuals. And when I say wrong, it's not bad individuals. It's wrong individuals. Clock the difference, right? Someone can be a good person, but still not be able to respect your boundaries because they don't respect their own boundaries. This is someone who doesn't have boundaries within their own life, or again, someone who's not being discerning or showing up with intention in their life. So how would you expect them to respect your boundaries? How would you expect them to value you if they don't even value themselves? RuPaul Charles, okay? How the hell are you going to love someone if you can't even love yourself? Can I get an amen up in here? It's true. But now you have an awareness of the importance of your depth. And you're not going to pour that depth into a shallow pool, okay? We are not pouring our depth into a kiddie pool around here. We are not allowing there to be that overflow without any type of reciprocation back towards us. We are protecting and preserving this feminine energy at all costs. And these boundaries allow you to do so. Okay? So what do we need to know about future love, if anything, before we look at career messages? Dang. Some of you, yes, there will be some type of confession here in the future after a long time of being disconnected from this past partner. I feel many of you are not going to accept anything else from this person just because it feels like this person is still in this place in which they're not sure about what they want. There's still a lack of intention here. It's like they want to be a free spirit. They want to come back and just see where things go, or just see where you are, or just, casually circle back to you after 3, 6, 9, 12 months of disconnection. This is a collective that is moving with intention. Moving with intention. This is a collective that is not willing to live in the dark or live in a state of secrecy or live in a state of concealing the truth. So when this person, does come forward, they may get a mouthful, an earful, an earful from you. As you tell them everything maybe you've been holding back for some time. Such as the fact that you're not looking for something casual. You're not looking for something temporary. You don't want to hear about, some type of small talk or just what happened to them on a Thursday. You want real talk, you want real truth, you want real conversations, or you're not interested. And frankly, for a lot of you, the time here has passed. The time here has passed. So, what is the final advice for this collective? What do we need to know? If those of you who have been debating whether to communicate with this person, the advice here is to stay silent. You will find your spark again. I feel for many of you are starting to feel that. You're starting to feel drawn towards the new. The chemistry that you felt with this person will be able to be replicated in other things, but you have to be open to exploring those other things. You have to be willing to take a chance on other things. You have to be willing to allow yourself to be loyal to a new path, new experiences, new opportunities. The same way that you gave yourself over to this person with wild abandon, the same way that you allowed yourself to fully devote yourself to this person, you need to give even a percentage of that to something new that could form that same level of investment from you, could form that same level of interest, or could create that same genuine excitement in you. Okay? So I hope that message was helpful for my collective, sending so much love, positive energy, and abundance. If you enjoyed that collective message, 1111 down below. Let's do a few career messages. Open to anything new. I feel new energy in this collective, but I honestly feel right now this is a collective that's just closing this cycle. Closing this cycle out with intention, not looking for anyone, not seeking anyone out. And often that is when you have someone come right towards you. When you are not focusing on seeking someone out, searching for someone endlessly. I feel in this collective, it's like you are allowing the person to come to you. Love you, Steffi. The cycle is, sometimes it does take some time to close the cycle, okay? Be compassionate with yourself. But just know that if you wait until you're fully ready, sometimes that means you're late. Okay, let's get some career guidance. Then we're going to do some free questions. For those who are asking about the list, I have one spot left. Love or career readings are 26. Soulmate twin flame readings are 36. Full year readings are 46. One more spot, and then the list is closed. If you're wanting to get on the list. Okay, let's do some career messages. Love you, Steph. Okay, let's see. What does this collective need to know about their career at this time? Spirits, angels, and guides, ascended masters, loved ones, teachers, positive ancestors. Go to my website, click on TikTok live readings, and then you just put in the payment information in your questions. Okay. Okay, I feel this is a collective that at this time is needing to make a decision as it relates to their career. I feel this energy here of really questioning what you do moving forward and really feeling called to making a big change potentially. You may feel a little bit stuck at this time or powerless, or like you don't have the resources. Some of you feel maybe a little bit demotivated. But you also know you have to break some type of cycle here. You have to break some type of cycle. For some of you, the cycle you're needing to break is in maybe putting a lot of effort into things that don't help you move forward or that aren't in alignment. I feel within this collective, maybe you feel for some time you've been working, but not working, doing something that you love. Or you don't feel as connected to what you're doing as maybe you used to. Okay? Some of you, though, are thinking about making a big decision. What do we need to know about this decision in career? Yeah, for some of you, I feel like you're perceiving it from a place of fear. So for those of you who are feeling within work, we're going to read this two ways, okay? For those of you who are actively in this state of being employed like a traditional employer and you're working as part of a company or a team, I feel within that situation, many of you are feeling like you are experiencing a lot of pressure and you're having a difficult time standing up for yourself and saying like, I need more support, or I need more resources, or I need more money, or like, I need to be acknowledged. So you feel like endlessly work is always hard and difficult, and you keep having these clashes with authority or boss, but you're also not feeling like you're standing up for yourself, and you're not feeling like there's any movement. So some of you are really struggling here. You're really struggling and feeling like you don't know whether to continue to stay in this environment. But for some of you within this collective, I feel like this situation could be rectified by you standing up for yourself, speaking up for yourself, speaking up on behalf of what you need in order to be able to feel recognized, appreciated. And I feel as well for others, I want you to think about what the future could hold beyond this, whether it's within your current employment or beyond. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket. You never want to be indebted to a singular person, whether it's romantically, platonically, a boss, or otherwise. Okay? So for those of you who are like, they're not recognizing me, they won't give me what I deserve, and I'm not fairly compensated, but you're either not standing up for yourself or you're not looking elsewhere, but you're also putting your fate in their hands. That is very dangerous. Okay, this is very dangerous. We must never put our fate in a singular force's hands without feeling like in some way we are guiding that process, or we are orchestrating the process, or we are empowered and making decisions that feel true to us. Don't allow yourself to be that vulnerable, because frankly, to most bosses, and this is just the real tea and nothing but the tea, for most bosses, you are a number. That is what it is. Okay? For most bosses, you are a line on a balance sheet, okay? And if you don't advocate for yourself, no one else will. That's the truth. Hate to be the one to break it to you. If you don't advocate for yourself, if you don't come through and say, this is what I need, I'm just as valuable as you are. If you don't come in with this awareness of your value and really advocate for yourself, again, no one else will. Okay? And I feel like we need to really be thinking about the fact that we're maybe giving too much credit to this boss and not taking that credit and not taking that power for ourselves. Just know that any employer is lucky to have you. Okay? They are lucky to have you. They might look at you as just a number. That is a fallacy, because a boss who looks at you as just a number is a boss that doesn't understand economics, to the extent where they don't realize that it costs a lot more to hire someone than it does to make someone that they already have hired happy. Common sense, okay? It costs a lot more for them to recruit someone new than it would be to actually make you happy. So the fact that they look at you as just a number, which most bosses do, is essentially a representation that they are very short-sighted. They don't understand base level financial economics. That is an issue with this specific boss. And I feel for many of you, you're dealing with a boss who is very short-sighted, who is focusing just on filling their own pockets, and who isn't providing you the support that you need, okay? So for many of you, you need to learn how to make this work for you. For some, you need to ask for a raise. Some of you, I feel like you definitely need to ask for a raise. And you need to stop being shy about talking about the accomplishments that you've made. Some of you, you are holding back too much. You're being too humble. You're being too humble. I feel that within this collective, it's like, you'll give credit to everyone else around you, but not give credit to yourself. You'll celebrate everyone else's accomplishments, but you're not celebrating yourself. This is going to lead to stagnation in your career because, again, you need to acknowledge the work that you've done. You need to acknowledge the accomplishments you've made. That is also something that can help demonstrate your fit for whether it's a promotion, new opportunities, or a raise. Okay? So, final advice for this collective who is struggling here. I feel for many of you, you are going to get ultimately what you deserve, but again, it's going to require you to advocate. I feel some of the reason why maybe you felt stuck in your career is because there's an old identity here that you are now starting to shed and outgrow. And this is an old identity that said, just accept whatever you're offered. Just take it and shut up and be happy. You're getting paid. You still got your lights on at home. You're gainfully employed. That's the old narrative. That's the old programming. That's the old identity. Like, I should just be happy that I'm even, that I even have some type of contractual employment. Someone's just, gifting me this opportunity. Okay? But truthfully, this is a mutually beneficial agreement here. This is a mutually beneficial opportunity in which your employer is benefiting from the fact that you are very skilled. You have so much to offer. And you pour all of yourself into everything that you do. I feel in this collective, you're very determined. You're very hardworking. And often you do a lot behind the scenes that people don't even see. I feel that for some of you as well, you're doing multiple positions. Like you're taking on other people's work and not even taking credit for it. So I do see an opportunity here for you to be able to receive a new opportunity. For some of you, it's a promotion. For some of you, it's moving up the ladder in some way to achieve more success. But the way that you do so is by shedding this old identity that caused you to feel like you should just accept whatever is offered. And by stating definitively that you know your value, you know what you bring to the table, and you expect to be compensated. Okay? You expect to be compensated because you're not just here to drive profit for this boss and their stakeholders, to make them look good at their quarterly meetings. You are here to be able to also be fairly recognized. Okay? So, this is a big step for this collective. I feel like you are ready to claim your prize, your abundance. I feel like you have to recognize that you are worthy of said abundance. Okay? Remember, you operating within your career is just as much about energetics as it is about the tangible actions that you take. The energetic blueprint that exists within you is going to have just as much of an impact, if not more of an impact, than the efforts that you make at work. Okay? Tune into that energetic part of you that is still playing small. Okay? Call them out. Say, okay, come to my office, person who's playing small. We're done with this. We're done with this role, this old identity. We haven't been there for years. We're not playing small anymore. We're going to speak up. We're going to ask for what we want. We're going to speak about our accomplishments. We're going to tell people what we've done. Okay? We are going to allow ourselves to co-navigate, co-orchestrate our career path to the success that you are so rightfully deserving of. Okay? So I hope that message was helpful for my collective, sending so much love, positive energy, and abundance. If you enjoyed that collective message, I want to hear down below, I'm no longer playing small. I'm no longer playing small. Because people will only see you in the same depth in which you see yourself. People will only see you in the same stature that you see yourself.